House is resumed for the extended sitting. I call on Government Order of the Day number 7.
Te Tau Ihu Claims Settlement Bill, first reading.
Honourable Peter Sharples.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the Tauihu Claims Settlement Bill be now read a first time. Tō tahi, kei te mihi au ki a kōtau, ko haramai nei, I tēnei whare o tātau, I tēnei rangi. He rā nui tēnei kia timata ai tēnei wāhanga kia haere ngā kōrero I roti te whare mata mō ngā wā e tōru. Nā reira nau mai haramaira. Haramaira me ngā tini mate ko pā kia tātau. Ana ko tā me moana te tahi I hinga mai nā I te pō, te tama a tom moana. Tama tam. Nā reira ngā mate ko pā kia koutou oti rā kia tātau. Takoto haere ki ngā tīpuna mātua, hei whāreki mā mātou. He haramāku e whakaroatia te kōrero ki a koutou, engori ko te mea pai ki ahau kia haere tika ai koutou ki reira I mua o te kaihanga. Nā reira rātou ki a rātou, tātou ki a tātou, tēnā tātou. Nā reira nau mai, haramai, he rā nui tēnei mō koutou, kei a tātou nei I roti te whare e tahi kōrero e tau toko ana, te huarahi e pai ana mō koutou, ko whakatakotaria e koutou. Nā reira tēnā koutou, ngā iwi katoa o te tauihu, nau mai haramaira. Mr. Speaker, at the appropriate time, I intend to move that Te Tauihu Claims Settlement Bill be considered by the Māori Affairs Select Committee. Today, we turn south from Te Whanganui Ātara. We look across Raukawa Mana, past the resting place of Te Wheke a Muturangi, to the lands of Te Tauihu o Te Waka a Maui, the prow of the great canoe of Maui, Tiki Tiki Ataranga. It is my honour to welcome to this house the sons and daughters of Ngā Tiapa ki Te Rātō, Ngāti Kuia, Rangitane o Wairau, Ngāti Koata, Ngāti Rārua, Ngāti Tama ki Te Tauihu, Te Ātioa o Te Waka a Maui, Ngāti Toa Rangatira. Mr. Speaker, all 8 iwi of Te Tauihu had valid, customary rights that should have been protected, honoured and guaranteed by the Treaty of Waitangi when it was signed in 1840. But within years of the treaty being signed, the Crown illicitly acquired millions of hectares of Te Tauihu lands and resources. The Crown failed to obtain the full and free consent of the rightful landowners. These massive land acquisitions were invalid in both British and Maori law. They were clear breaches of Te Treaty o Waitangi. Mr. Speaker, we are here today because the Crown failed to protect, honour and guarantee the rights of Te Tauihu iwi Tauihu whānau. For us in 2013 to even try to comprehend what this loss meant all those years ago and what it means today, we need to understand how Te Tauihu whānau were living at that time. In the mid-1800s, the waters around Nelson, around Golden Bay, Marlborough Sounds and Kapiti, they were the equivalent to our modern-day motorways. They were expressways for trade and the merchant ships, cutters and vessels plying the waters of Raukawa Moana were owned by tangata whenua iwi of Te Tauihu. The flax, the pigs, tobacco, meat, potatoes, timber, maize, on board those ships were grown on Te Tauihu lands, cultivated, harvested and processed by Te Tauihu people. They owned the lands, the storehouses and the ships that carried their produce throughout New Zealand and abroad. Even before Europeans arrived on these shores, the people of Te Tauihu were trading across Aotearoa. When you take millions of acres from people who have only ever known a life of enterprise and self-determination, Mr. Speaker, you aren't just taking away land. You devastate an entire way of life. You're taking away an identity. You're taking away a birthright. The Crown's governors and officials acted ruthlessly, sidelining the treaty and deliberately giving new settlers advantages over Māori. As a result, the Crown's purchases left Te Tauihu Māori in poverty. Today, the Crown stands before the families of Te Tauihu and acknowledges the social, economic and cultural devastation carried by generations of families. But through it all, Mr. Speaker, the peoples of Te Tauihu remained steadfast. They remained at the helm of the waka o Maui, and they did not leave. Their identity was attacked but never destroyed. Their way of life devastated but never wiped out. In the face of incredible injustices, generations of Te Tauihu people have made an incredible contribution to Aotearoa New Zealand. They always have. A mihi kia koutou. Archaeological evidence from this rohe proves our ancestors' epic voyages were planned, purposeful, and often return journeys. Hemi Mātenga o Whakapuaki literally connected New Zealand to the world in 1876, swimming out in dangerous conditions and dragging to the shore our first undersea telecommunications cable. Te Tauihu has produced countless Olympic champions, sports stars, and All Black greats. Māori businesses in this region are industry leaders across a range of sectors, including wine, hospitality, and tourism. And who can forget Te Tauihu leaders were at the forefront of the historic foreshore and seabed battle, an iconic moment for Māori who marched in our thousands to this Parliament on a freezing cold day in 2004. Mr. Speaker, Te Tauihu people have always punched well above their weight. And when it comes to our country's political, cultural, historical and economic and sporting history, today is another of those milestones. Many of the things these people have lost due to the actions of the Crown can never be totally replaced. Yet the people of Te Tauihu still wish to settle their grievances with honour and with mana. Although only one settlement bill is being considered by Parliament today, the Tauihu Claims Settlement Bill gives effect to 8 deeds of settlement. This is an amazing milestone and a testament to the determination and leadership shown by the 8 Tauihu iwi who have managed to overcome their differences to get to this point. Tēnā koutou. Te Tauihu Claims Settlement Bill will provide redress to 3 kurahaupo iwi, Ngāti Apa ki te Rāto, Ngāti Kuia, and Rangitane o Wairau. These 3 iwi signed their deeds of settlement in 2010, and for them today has been a long time coming. I acknowledge their patience, their pragmatism. In a region with extremely overlapped iwi interests and where Crown redress was becoming increasingly scarce, the 3 kurahaupo iwi have shown great leadership by foregoing their claims to forestry interests in exchange for other commercial redress. This extremely bold decision unlocked the regional stalemate and enabled negotiations of other Te Tauihu groups to progress. Te Tauihu Claims Settlement Bill will also provide redress to 4 Tainui Taranaki ki Tonga iwi, Ngāti Koata, Ngāti Rārua, Ngāti Tamaki Te Tauihu, and Te Atiawa o Te Waka a Mau. I also commend the patience and resilience of the Tainui Taranaki iwi, whose negotiations were put on hold while the Crown addressed other issues raised in Te Tauihu. Last, Mr. Speaker, but certainly not least, the Tauihu Claims Settlement Bill will settle the claims of Ngāti Toa Rangatira. In many respects, the Ngāti Toa negotiations presented new challenges to the Crown, in particular because of the geographical spread of the rohe of Ngāti Toa, straddling both sides of Te Moana Araukaua, including cultural redress of extreme significance to the iwi and the New Zealanders in general, redress over Kapiti Island and Ngāti Toa's maritime interests, as well as the Haka Kamate Attribution Bill, which recognises Kamate as the taonga of Ngāti Toa, are extremely innovative forms of redress, and I acknowledge the determination of Ngāti Toa in getting to this point. Te Tauihu Claims Settlement Bill is the culmination of years of hard work, tough decisions, not only for the Crown but also between yourselves. You all should be proud of what you have achieved. The journey to get to this day has been neither easy nor brief. We remember the many who have passed on, but whose determination has led legislation in this House. Mā whero mā pango ka uti te mahi. There are many whakatawa about Māori working together. Countless proverbs about putting differences aside for the greater good. Today we witness the wisdom of our tīpuna, who coined these whakatauaki, and we see those words into action. Today, we witness a milestone in a journey that's not just about the wonderful idea of Māori working together, but will be a transformative step for the people of Te Tauihu. Today, we see this taking place before our eyes as we introduce legislation to resolve the historic grievances of 8 iwi. I consider that this bill, I support this bill, māku e tū nei I roti tēnei whare I te whakamana ki te tautoko I ngā iwi o te tauihu o te waka a Māui, me o rātau hia kia whakoti pai tēnei kaupapa. Ka nui ngā mihi kia koutou. Mr. Speaker, I consider that the bill should proceed without delay to the Māori Affairs Committee, and I commend this bill to the House.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Reno.